Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. Stuart's kitchen, that is. So anyway, a while back at work, people were talking about hamburger soup with this and this and that. I've heard of it, but I really didn't know too much about it. But I made up my own version. So it's got beans in it also for the fiber and everything else that's good in it. So let's start with the ingredients of the vegetables. Your standard French thing, mirepoix, carrot, celery, onion. So that's what I'll start with. And then I'll have some rutabaga, which is a root vegetable. Winter is the best time to have because that's when it's available mostly. This time of year it's also quite cheap compared to everything else. So this is about, in the rutabaga world, this is considered small. This is about 2 pound or whatever it is. But I'm using half of that. Whatever size you want, that size. And also I'm going to be using diced tomatoes because I'm not going to do my own tomatoes. Unsalted. In terms of the starch part of it, in here I have 1 cup of kidney beans and about half a cup or less of black beans, and I cooked that earlier, soaked overnight and then cooked. Almost done, but not quite. And then we have a bit of barley because I like the texture of barley in my soup. At the very end, I'll add maybe a cup or so of pasta. This is a nice little elbow-ish pasta, if you can see that. I don't like the big stuff, I don't need it. I happen to have this right now, so I'm putting it in. Don't use spaghetti because it's just too fine. You're gonna lose it. Protein-wise, I have hamburger. This hamburger I get from the butcher because I don't always go for commercial supermarket hamburger because I don't know where it's made and sometimes it's not made on site. This hamburger is 1/4 lamb because I like the flavor of lamb. I always ask my butcher to do this for me. And it's also, at the butcher, you can ask for a single grind because it's a coarser texture. And I like that because you can really taste the hamburger, you can chew it a little bit. It's actually something to eat. Most hamburger, commercial hamburger, is done double grind because that's a standard that's sold in the supermarket. Everybody seems to like it. Not my thing. So if you can do this, it's great. If not, go for your regular hamburger. So in terms of spices, seasoning, salt and pepper, kind of basic. A dash of sambal oelek, chili sauce, whatever you like, but I just use a little bit, give it a bit of a kick. Bay leaf is what I have. This is a bay tree from my yard, and you can see it actually flowers because I have a nice big one. And flowers, probably been a month now, but those are the buds. Kind of cool if you've never seen before. They actually open with the flowers. Next is apple cider vinegar. This will give it a bit of acidity in the end. I'll put it in the last portion of my cooking when it's cooking away. And last item is your stock base. Mine is frozen. It's a paste. It's I guess it's a good quality one. I don't use the square powdered ones, whatever. I think there's just too much salt. Read the ingredients. You maybe know why. This is actually made real, and I'll use that also for your flavor and soup base. All of this is going to be cooked into a. That's what my 10 cup Dutch oven. I could use a bigger one. My orange one. That's I don't know what it is. Probably 12 cups, I guess, or whatever it is. And it just fits enough here. I really could have used a larger one. I'm going to use this one again. So we'll get started. I'm going to move this out of the way and we'll get started. So here we are. We're going to start with the mirepoix. I'll take the ends off a little bit. I'm using a Chinese vegetable knife. Very thin, very nice. I've got my Japanese knife here, which it's a little narrower, but this is really good for vegetables. So 1/3 the price of that Japanese knife actually, but it's actually very, very sharp. So I'm just gonna have nice equal size of vegetables. So I'm gonna cook it down. Very easy vegetable knife. Side there. pretty quick. That's the beauty about this knife. You handle just like a normal knife, pinch it, hang on to it there, and it works really nice. Point on the cutting board, and then chop away. Watch your fingers. I guess these are about 1/4 inch pieces, just because they're going to cook away sort of later on in the soup. Watch your fingers. A good knife is so quiet, you can actually go through the vegetables. As they say, it really feels like butter when it goes through because it's just so soft when it goes through. Cut the carrot once this way, 1/4, 1/4, and against the knuckle, and move down, eyeball it, 1/4. There it is. Something went down. Ugh. Anything on the floor is good because it's going to get cooked anyways. My thing. Who cares? So there's that. And I'm drawing this way as I slice. There. If you have a dull knife, it does not do this nice. You would know. I've shown this knife to friends and they said, oh my goodness, this is a cool knife. So this is a medium onion. It's too big. I'm just going to use half of it. Corner down first. And cut it in half. Oh, speaking about knives, if you don't have a knife block, invest in a nice edger, okay? Corner goes in, tuck it in, and tuck it away. It doesn't damage the blade. I've been to homes where everything goes in a drawer and you got a nice knife, and then you don't have a good knife after that. So try to invest in one of these. They're not terribly expensive, but they're worth it if you can have one of these. I've had this knife for probably 30 years, 25, 30 years, I think, this particular knife. I bought this first back then, but I didn't have a block before because these things are so expensive. Anyways, take care of your knife. Peel it back. This way. Go this way. Yeah, very easy. No bits. 1/4. Hold it like that. Keep it together. And I'm drawing across. Of course, don't drop the knife onto your foot because that'd be kind of funny. I'd like to see that one day. No bits in the end. Here, line it up. Cut it this way, then it comes nice and even. Nice angle, and then flip it down. And then you got nice surface there to cut on. Hold it tight with your left hand and cut down. With a dull knife or an unsharp knife, you can't do this. It's really hard. So, like I stress, get a good sharp knife. And if you happen to have a steel, do this a couple of times. 20 degrees angle. This is ceramic, so it sharpens a little. I have a steel that actually just maintains the blade, but I happen to have ceramic ones. Great investment. Part of the best thing you should have in your kitchen if you have good knives. Even a dullish, bad quality knife will sharpen with that. It'll do its job. So here's the rutabaga. Don't need the ends. Don't need the end here. So this is going to add it later on. I'm going to cut this in about, let's say 1/2 inch. Down, point down, push down. And this one, I'll do it again, 1/2 inch there. a dice it up like that. I want them chunky so I'll actually have something to bite on later on. This is kind of weird, so this way, 1, 2. And I'll plate that for later on. 1, 2. There. 1, 2, 3. The last one, if you go point down your plate with your hands, just like that. Nice scooper like that. That's why it's such a nice knife. So that's the vegetable part. And now we're going to get to the browning of the beef part. So here I've added the beef, and just like that. Don't play with it. Let it brown a little bit first. Then start picking it off, because if you move it too early, it sticks. You want to have it a sear, and then move it around. Break it up. I'm using this wooden spoon again because this is enamel. I don't want to wreck my pot. Just flip it around, turn it over. This is pretty quick. I got it in fairly high heat. The browning also gives it nice flavor too. That burnt, sort of, you can call it. That brown really gives it a nice flavor on the beef. I mean, you could make this vegetarian really, because I've got all the beans and barley and the pasta. That itself is protein there. But I like the flavor of the beef. So that was pretty quick. Doesn't have to be well done, but just enough. So I'm going to scoop it off like that. Not too hard, but just enough with this. This is metal, but I know I'm not going to damage it. Lightly scoop it off. There it is. There. So in here, the fat rendered from the beef. So I'm not going to add too much oil yet. I probably will add a little more. So all this goes in. Slowly. This to me needs a bit of oil, so I'm just going to add a little oil to it. If you're curious about why I use my finger, I go like that because it runs up the finger, not the side of the bottle. That's just a trick. Physics, chemistry trick. So I'm going to let this soften, or we'll come back to it. So here it is now. It was about maybe 3 or 4 minutes really. I actually put the lid on it to let it sweat out, because I don't really want it to brown. I don't need it to brown the onions, because I don't want that taste. I've added the bay leaf to soften that up, and then I'll add the about a tablespoon or so of the stock. Don't need too much, because there's so much flavor here that I don't have to overdo the stock. So that's gonna melt in, cook down a little. What else do I need? We'll cook it a little. I should boil some water. I add some water just in case. By boiling my water ahead of time, and you can heat up faster later on if I need more water, which I think I will after I add the tomatoes there. So that's kind of what, a minute or so, 2 minutes. I add the beef back in. Pepper, which I should have done earlier, but I didn't. I'll do it now. This is the best grinder, pepper mill. Peugeot, French, what else? It is definitely the best. And is unfortunately super expensive. I got mine in Germany when I was there, almost 30 years ago. I bought that in Germany. Because it was cheaper than buying it here actually. So here as in Canada. So I'll stir that around. A little bit of salt. I'm not going to worry too much about this yet. But this adds to the beef actually. So a bit of that. So the trivia about the bay leaf is that it breaks down the beef. There's that chemistry there too. That's what the bay leaf does. So that's cooked down pretty quick. And then I'll put the barley in now. I'm gonna put in maybe a third of a cup. I don't need too much. Yeah, because it really cooks up nice. So stir that up. I like to heat everything up before I add anything else. I still have on pretty high heat actually. These glass top ovens, I don't think they get hot enough sometimes, and that's one thing I didn't know when I read up about this oven. I bought this a couple of years ago, and I don't have gas, which I can't have gas here, but this is the next best thing. But I do notice that these glass tops aren't as hot as the open coil ones. Bit of disappointment, but that's the way it goes. So I'll add the beans now. Heat that up. I did drain earlier. Let's go full bore here just because. Let's bring it out to temperature. When I put the lid on, when I was heating up the onions and the carrots, it actually brought up the sticky brown bits too. That's what that does too. By closing the lid on top, it actually releases the burnt bits, the flavor bits. The oven's ready at 350, ready to go. Smells so good. Let's put in a bit of chili now. I don't use very much because a little bit really goes a long ways. I don't want to make this a super hot soup. It's just not my thing. Some people like it. It's not my thing. I want just a bit of flavor, a bit of heat, but not to kill myself. I put in like probably less than a teaspoon, and it really heats it up a lot. When I added salt, it was with the beef when I cooked it. I'm not adding the cider vinegar because that's going to toughen the beans. And remember that about the cider vinegar, that's the acid of the cider vinegar. So don't put that with your beans if your beans are not cooked enough. My beans are not too bad here, so I'm not too worried. So here's a can of soup, a can of cut, diced tomatoes. It's kind of dryish looking. It'll need liquid to make it soupy, which I'll add the hot water now. Let's stir a little more first. This is very, very thick. I probably could have and should have used a bigger pot, but I tried doing this again. I seem to do this every time. Pot's kind of small. So this is boiled water. Just loosen it up. This is going to be very, very full by the time when I'm done with it. So I'm not going to the top at all because I'm still going to add the rutabaga, which is space. So don't overdo this part for sure. Rutabaga is a root vegetable, and it cooks pretty fast actually. So don't put it too early. You want to sort of have its texture and still be able to bite into it at the end. I could kind of taste this just because. Oops. Tomatoey, little bit of kick. It's pretty nice. But you can notice today I'm wearing my chef's jacket, I guess, because it's a little messier. When I did my pasta, it's nothing messy. But this is a great investment. My friend had told me to buy one many years ago, but I was lazy. I thought it was kind of expensive. Do I need it? I don't know. But in the end, it's my favorite thing to wear when I'm cooking because it covers everything. All your grease, smells, whatever. If you're splattering, you're cooking away here, it really does a nice job. It's definitely my favorite thing to wear. Even if it's hot here, I'll wear a t-shirt like I have on underneath right now. But it's a nice jacket to wear when you're cooking and just having to not to worry about your clothes getting all smelly or dirty. So this has come to a boil. Heat it up nice. I'll turn it off. And I don't think I forgot anything. Let's hope. So, lid goes on. I'm going to pop it in the oven for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, I'll add the rutabaga and the pasta. So let's carry on. So here we are again. I've taken it out of the oven and so a quick look here. Make sure the heat goes away from you so don't wreck your face. Let's have a look. It's cooked down quite a bit and absorbed a lot. So it's actually very thick. Here it goes anyways. That's the rutabaga. Oh, guess what? I didn't cut one. This is funny. So give me a chance here, I'll cut it up. That was pretty cool. I'm using this knife for a change just because. 2, 3, 4. That was crazy. So let's dump that in. This really is really thick, but it's the way it goes. I'm gonna stick this in here. That was the pasta. We'll definitely add on some water. This is super full. I underestimate this a lot actually. Every time it's full and I don't know what I put a lot of it this time, but there's a lot of something this time. So here's the cider, apple cider that is. I'm going to put in, I stir it maybe just over a teaspoon. See how it tastes. Stir it a bit. Let's see how this goes. Try a little bit. I'm putting in a little more because it does cook out a little. So maybe at least a tablespoon or more, depending on how you like it. Put more water. Actually, I want it pretty loose. Fold in, fold in. I'm going as full as I can. It's not too bad, but it is really, really full. So try to bury all the vegetables I just put in, the rutabaga, and bury the noodles too, so that it does get the chance to cook. There, you don't see any of it there, because it will absorb. Those noodles will get fat, actually. So there we are. Give it a bit of a shake, and I'm just going to put in the oven. Watch how it goes in. And make sure you put the lid on it. So that'll be another 40 minutes. We'll check on it then. It should be done by then. It's going to be really good. And we shall see you later. So here we are, back again. This is about 40 minutes. I give myself a haircut in that little time there. And let's check it out. When you open this, the steam really comes out fast. So watch your face when you open the oven when it's cooking a stew or something, because the steam is pretty hot. There it is. Let's have a quick look. Open away from you. It's pretty good. Now, let's have a look at here. That's pretty thick. Okay, look. I need a towel here. Okay. It's so thick that I'm really going to add this boiling water. It was boiling already. Thin it out. But look at this, the noodle is done. It's pretty fat compared to what it was before. And the rutabagas, they look pretty soft. So, let's go for the taste test. Pretty hot. Not bad. Let's see again. I could add a little more of this, apple cider that is. It's still so hot it wouldn't matter because it'll cook out a little on its own. Not too much. I just put in maybe not even a teaspoon. So just do it to your own taste. Really stir it out. Get that cider vinegar heated up for any bacteria or whatever, I guess, because it is organic, fermented organic apple cider. It's still very thick. I'm gonna add as much as this I can, water, really thin it out. So there we are. This is the hamburger bean soup. You could leave out the hamburgers and make it completely vegan, actually, if you really want to. Even the bouillon base can take that out. But I like the way it is. This serves around, I'd say, 5 people, maybe up to 6. I divide it up into these containers. Glass with a lid. Use glass because the hot liquid really reacts with plastic, I believe. I don't believe in using hot food into plastic containers, so use glass and then cool it down a bit, lock it up, and there it is. You can freeze this, it'll last whatever, and I hope you enjoyed that. This is your COVID-19 sort of isolation thing for those of you who are still isolated. I'm essential service and I'm back to work after my little isolation. So if you have nothing to do, try this out. Try my pasta, try my bread. So we'll see what I'll do next time. Won't be too many of these videos, but hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.